Hello, and welcome to Jericho Swarm. So I decided if I had to give a name to this deck, I don't really name many of the decks. You know, a lot of people in the forums have this name for it, you know, so you can talk about the deck and other stuff, and I don't know, I don't really do that. I don't even refer to that, you know, when I build someone else's deck or take a look at it or do something else, I don't think, oh, this is the Crystal Miner Zaladar, or this is, I don't know, I don't really care that much, I guess. But, I don't know, I was just thinking about it, and it just kind of came across my head. I thought, you know, because this is kind of a rush, and it's like a swarm of bees or something, feels like something a priest might do. Jericho's Swarm, it just kind of sounds kind of cool. Because we're trying to swarm the opponent with allies. Okay, I'm done talking, let's get in the match. Ooh, and we're playing as Zaladar. So this is going to be a tough matchup for this deck. Zaladar does well against rushes usually. Because of his ability, mainly, he's able to, he doesn't have to worry about what cards he gets or what resources and other such things. He's able to, not stifle it, but he's able to keep it under control with, you know, use of his ability. I am going second, and I'm playing against the Zaladar, so I don't think sacrificing this bad Santa is that bad of a move. I'm going to have to make the assumption that Zaladar is going to have bad Santas of his own to play. So, you know, even if I get behind on cards, Zaladar probably will too, and he might drop a bad Santa. He throws out an Ironhide Karash to start the match, which is okay. Now I am going to get rid of this Champion of Irum, and I'm going to play the Puwen, and you know, I think it's pretty obvious, but the reason you want to play the Puwen here is because next turn, I'll be able to kill that Ironhide Crash, assuming he doesn't play a Death Mage Thaddeus. Because next turn, I'm set up to drop the Aldon. There's no real reason to drop the Book of Curses, and he does have a Death Mage Thaddeus to kind of thwart all of my plans. You know, my other option would have been to play a Treasured Heirloom, if I so chose. Now, playing the Champion of Irum would have circumvented that, and Zaladar is getting a quick lead here. We are gonna... Wow, he can kill my Aldon. Okay, what we're gonna do here is think about it for a second. We're gonna get rid of this Breastplate of Vitality. I don't really like sacrificing that, but if I really need to sacrifice a card, I will get rid of it. It's more helpful if I can throw it out there with a bunch of allies at the same time. So maybe if I have like 8 resources, it's more middle late game, or I guess more middle game. And I can throw out that and like two CC allies, has a lot more usefulness. I am going to throw out the Book of Curses right now. I don't want to throw out the Aldon. I only have 2, and if I throw it out there, he's just going to die. And none of the opponents will take damage from him, so not very helpful in my mind. He does throw out an antimatter. And they're going to go right for my hero and do 3 damage. And we're going to see what we get. We get a Wizent Staff. So because of the Wizent Staff, I feel okay getting rid of one of these Treasured Heirlooms. Now instead of playing the Wizent Staff, I'm going to play the Plague. Now the reason behind this is I'm setting myself up for more late game things. Which I know it's a rush deck, blah blah blah, but I'm really limiting Zaladar here by putting him down to 2 resources. Because all of a sudden, 2 cards that he sacrificed are gone. So the reason Plague is helpful is, I mean, it's helpful because it's lowering their resources, but another reason is maybe you get rid of a card you really like. You know, okay, so you know what I mean? Like, if you get up to 5 resources, you're okay. You know, you can do a lot with 5 resources. Well, if your opponent pushes you down to 3, it's not like you have the option, well, I'll just stay at 3. You have to then make a decision and sacrifice a card to go up to 4, and then eventually 5. You have to do that. There isn't another option for you at that point. So that's what I like about that. Now we're going to keep the Tidal Wave for sure. We are going to get, well, we are going to get rid of this other other Treasured Heirloom. I'm not too happy about that, but I'm not too worried about item destruction. We get a Jasmine, and we're going to end my turn. Now, I am taking a lot of damage early here from the Zaladar, and I don't like that, but I don't know what else I could have really done about it. I knew this was going to be a hard matchup right from the get-go. And, you know, I'm just powering through it. I'm hoping he throws down an ally here. He is just going to use Antimatter, which is... I don't know if it's disappointing, but it's disappointing. Much rather he throws down an ally, maybe forgetting about the Tidal Wave. I actually had that against an opponent one time. Man, it was like a Rush Aladwin, and she just kept playing allies. She played a Christopher turn 1. I think she played a Burgette and another Christopher turn 2. She played another Christopher and a Puwen turn 3. And she's playing all these allies. And it was against this Jericho deck, and all of a sudden I'm sitting there like, you do know I have Tidal Wave, right? I played a Tidal Wave, and she couldn't come back, even with her burn cards. So, we might have actually had a draw, but it really weird. So I guess I just want to say, like, you know, when you're playing a priest and a mage, but especially a priest, you have to keep in mind that any priest deck is going to have Tidal Wave. I mean, if you're making a priest deck, you're going to include Tidal Wave. So do not just overload the board with allies, even if that's not playing a card your turn, so that you have at least one ally in your hand. That's better than just throwing them out there and forcing the opponent to use a Tidal Wave and just destroying everything. Okay? If you didn't know, I mean, I couldn't believe you didn't know, but I mean, if you didn't, that's fine. I mean, you have to learn the game. Okay, so we are going to get rid of Book of Curses. I'm not worried about item destruction, and I already have one in play. Ooh, what do we do here? Let's throw out the Aldon and the Jasmine. I feel like throwing out the Priest Light is pointless. He's going to be able to... If I throw out the Priest of Light and another one, it doesn't really matter. He's going to be able to kill both of those allies. I know that. So I don't like to, you know, throw out allies that I know he's going to be killed. I know for sure he's going to kill. Now in this instance, he's going to be able to kill both of them. Because he's going to be able to use his ability and then use the Ironhide Crash and then his weapon that I played. But... sometimes you do it anyway. You throw allies out to their doom. But, I mean, you want to try to avoid that. Unless you feel like you're in a position where you need to really divert the... We're going to get rid of the Golden Knight. Divert the opponent's damage from your hero. Because you're taking a lot of damage. Now we're going to get rid of the Golden Knight whatever thing because of reasons. Obviously. Mind control. I know he's going to have mind control. I'm just not going to play a big card. I don't need to in this deck. Ooh, and I got a couple of options here. I think I'm actually going to get rid of Shadow Vein with my Focus Prayer. And I did cast a Bad Santa. I did it. I feel like this is an emergency time. I need to start getting a lot of allies on board, like ASAP. So that was kind of the reason behind that. He has another Shadow Vein to play. Okay. Not the worst thing in the world. He isn't going to be able to destroy the Wizent Staff. You know, I will say this deck does take a lot of damage at the beginning if you don't get the rush off well. But it doesn't mean it doesn't have comeback potential. I mean, nowhere near as much as like Lance, but we're going to sacrifice that Golden Knight for the same reason. Ooh, and a Champion of Irum. I was hoping for that. So we're going to play both Priest of Light here. And a Champion of Irum. And, Let's not attack him. You could potentially attack him to start wearing down the durability of the weapon, other such reasons, but because I'm not happy where my health is, I'm not going to do that because I think taking 2 damage right here isn't the best move. He is going to be able to kill everything here. Oh, he's going to mind control one of the Priest of Lights. Okay. And that does get rid of my Wizent staff, which would have been an argument as to why maybe I should have used it to attack. Debatable. Because then I'm looking at, instead of being at 10 health, I'm going to be at 8. And this is where, you know, I might lose this game, but this is where Book of Curses is really going to keep me in the game. That's why mages and... like, I have Tidal Wave, yeah, but, I mean, I don't feel the need to use it. Even though it would help. We are going to use Plague. And just... we're not going to attack the hero. You know, this is kind of where... This is Jericho's kind of... I don't want to know if I want to call it problem. But it's his issue right now in the current meta. Or the current... I don't know if meta is really the best way. But the card pool that he has. He only has so many cards that he can put in his deck to take advantage of his excess shadow energy. And he needs more. So that's one of his issues, you know. That's a big issue. I'd love to see a card like, I don't know, a Shrine of something. That would be kind of cool, like Shrine of the Gods, whatever they're gonna call it. And it's an item, it's an artifact. You play that, and then maybe it's like not 3, but maybe like 4 shadow energy, and all heroes and allies heal 2 damage. That would be kind of cool, I think. Cool card that the priest could utilize. Zana might be able to utilize that card in her deck. I don't know. I think this is... it's not game over if I play Tidal Wave. If he does have a Deathmate Statius, it is. We'll just end my turn with that. But yeah, that is one of the problems with Jericho, which is another reason I kind of built a rush deck. You know, that way I'm not getting to 10 shadow energy and just not being able to do anything. At least I'm not just over accumulating it. You know what I mean? But you know, that is one of the issues with Jericho. It is. Okay, so I do have a Tidal Wave, which I think is what I'm... well, I think it's actually game over because he's gonna have... he has shadow energy. Whatever. I'm gonna do everything in my ability to win, which is nothing. And there it is. That's game over. So, you know, I got 2 good Jericho matches up, I think. I've got this one, which kind of shows where this deck is going to fall. It's going to fall against a Zaladar or a Mage. Those are going to be tough matchups. It'll probably be a tough matchup against Lance. If you can't get the rush against the Lance, I mean, he's going to be able to come back, and you're not going to be able to do anything about it. But, you know, this deck does have the potential to succeed against almost every hero because of its rush qualities. But one of the other downsides I'd like to point out is priests are usually pretty dominant against the warrior class. And this deck, now Jericho is too. If you have a more normal Jericho deck, his deck's going to be pretty dominant against the warrior decks. However, this one I've not had as much success. Still some success maybe, but it doesn't have that overwhelming power like it normally have. Like, oops. It doesn't have that overwhelming power like it normally would have. So, you know, that's one of the issues, I would say. But that is the deck. Deck list is in the description if you didn't know. Yeah, I hope you look at my decks and formulate your own ideas. Maybe see some deck ideas, combos, other things you may not have noticed. I hope you enjoy playing Shadow Era. Comment, rate, and subscribe as always. Bye.